Hi, we're going to be reading in Luke chapter 18. It's a long chapter and it's really loaded with a lot of teachings of Jesus. And to start out, we're going to read about Jesus teaches about perseverance in prayer, especially. Chapter 18, verse 1. Jesus told his disciples a story. He wanted to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, "In a certain town there was a judge. He didn't have any respect for God or care about what people thought. A widow lived in that town. She came to the judge again and again. She kept begging him, 'Make things right for me. Someone is treating me badly.' For some time the judge refused, but finally he said to himself, 'I don't have any respect for God. I don't care about what people think, but this widow keeps bothering me. So I will see that things are made right for her. If I don't, she will someday come and attack me.' The Lord said, 'Listen to what the unfair judge says. God's chosen people cry out to him day and night. Won't he make things right for them? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, God will see that things are made right for them. He will make sure it happens quickly. But when the Son of Man comes, will he find people on earth who have faith?'" Good question. People are losing their faith all over the place, or pretending to have it, but losing a lot of it. The world is a very confusing place. Jesus told a story to some people who were sure they were right with God. They looked down on everyone else. He said to them, "Two men went up to the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee, the other was a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed. 'God, I thank you that I am not like other people,' he said. 'I am not like robbers or those who do other evil things. I am not like those who commit adultery. I am not even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week and I give a tenth of all I get.' But the tax collector stood farther away than the Pharisee. He would not even look up to heaven. He brought his hand to his heart and prayed. He said, 'God, have mercy on me. I am a sinner.' I tell you, the tax collector went home accepted by God, but not the Pharisee. All those who lift themselves up will be made humble, and those who make themselves humble will be lifted up." People were also bringing babies to Jesus. They wanted him to place his hands on the babies. When the disciples saw this, they told the people to stop. But Jesus asked the children to come to him. "Let the little children come to me," he said. "Don't keep them away. God's kingdom belongs to people like them." What I'm about to tell you is true. Anyone who will not receive God's kingdom like a little child will never enter into it. So we have to come to God innocent, humble, and looking to him like he's our Father who loves us, and not with pride and bragging about all the good things we've done. That's not going to help God accept you. A certain ruler asked Jesus a question. "Good teacher," he said, "what must I do to receive eternal life?" "Why do you call me good?" Jesus answered. "No one is good except God. You know what the commandments say. Do not commit adultery. Do not commit murder. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. Honor your father and mother." "I have obeyed all those commandments since I was a boy," the ruler said. When Jesus heard this, he said to him, "You're still missing one thing. Sell everything you have. Give the money to those who are poor. You will have treasure in heaven. Then come and follow me." When the ruler heard this, he became very sad. He was very rich. Jesus looked at him. Then he said, "How hard is it for rich people to enter into God's kingdom? Is it hard for a camel to go through the eye of a needle? Is it even harder for someone who is rich to enter God's kingdom? Those who heard this asked, "Then who can be saved?" Jesus replied, "Things that are impossible with people are possible with God." Peter said to him, "We have left everything we had in order to follow you." "What I'm about to tell you is true," Jesus said. "Has anyone left home or wife or husband or brothers or sisters or parents or children for God's kingdom? They will receive many times as much in this world. In the world to come, they will receive eternal life." So this tells me that God has to come even before our family. It also tells me that if you're born into a certain religion that is not right with what Jesus is teaching, that you're not supposed to stick with it just because you were born into it, just because that's your family's tradition. We all need to find our own way. We're all on our own journey, and if that means even leaving your parents, your children, your spouse, whoever, family, that might be the case. And I think often that could be temporary, because many times they will come around and want to hear what you have to say. And if you're living a good life and leave them in a way that lets them know that you love them, but you have to put your faith first, they will respect that. It kind of happened with me and my mom, and I've told that story. I told my life story and my testimonies and all that. But my mom did not like me after I became a born again Christian and started really living the life. She didn't like that, and but it it actually caused a separation between us. But as years went on, and I tried to keep showing my love for her, eventually she came around, and she actually accepted Christ and was baptized in her 80s. So I think that's what Jesus is talking about here. And he mentions about the camel going through an eye of a needle. Now, I read somewhere that back in that day, the needle was also a small door, a little small miniature kind of opening. And most people or animals would have to really squat down and wiggle in there. It would be a very tight squeeze to get in through that needle opening, maybe kind of like a doggy door. So that might be what they're talking about, but it's the same idea about, squeezing in where you don't fit. Okay, now we're on verse 31. Jesus took the 12 disciples to one side. He told them, "We are going up to Jerusalem. Everything that the prophets wrote about the Son of Man will come true. He will be handed over to the Gentiles. They will make fun of him. They will laugh at him and spit on him. They will whip him and kill him. On the third day he will rise from the dead." The disciples did not understand any of this. Its meaning was hidden from them, so they didn't know what Jesus was talking about. Jesus was approaching Jericho. A blind man was sitting by the side of the road begging. The blind man heard the crowd going by. He asked what was happening. They told him, "Jesus of Nazareth is passing by." So the blind man called out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Those who led the way commanded him to stop. They told him to be quiet, but he shouted even louder, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and ordered the man to be brought to him. When the man came near, Jesus spoke to him. "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked. "Lord, I want to be able to see," the blind man replied. Jesus said to him, "Receive your sight. Your faith has healed you." Right away he could see. He followed Jesus, praising God. When all the people saw it, they also praised God. And that's the end of the reading for today, and I will see you back tomorrow. And if you're wondering about anything, read it again or watch me again and ask me a question if you want.